Hi, I'm Edwin Palmer, and on Friday, November 17th, 2017, I read this. Anti-LGBT politician resigns after being caught having sex with man in his office. When you continue reading, you see that an Ohio lawmaker who routinely touted his Christian faith and anti-LGBT views has resigned after being caught having sex with a man in his office. Wes Goodman, who is the Republican state legislator for Ohio, is married to a woman who is assistant director of an annual anti-abortion rally known as March for Life. The right-wing legislator who pushed family values was reportedly witnessed having sex with a man inside his office who was not employed by the legislator. And when you continue reading, you see that Mr. Goodman resigned for inappropriate conduct. So what's up with these men? I mean, he was clearly anti-LGBTQ+, and he was clearly attracted to men. And he was clearly homophobic in his views. So why do some gay or bi men turn against their own and become homophobic? That's what I'm gonna find out in this video. Often because of social or religious pressures, some find homosexuality unacceptable. Those who believe homosexuality is wrong but nonetheless find themselves experiencing same-sex attraction can become internally conflicted. They must reconcile these feelings with their strongly held beliefs. Repressed urges within a person can cause him to lash out against what he finds unacceptable in himself. Freud called this defense reaction formation, and when one has unwanted feelings of same-sex attraction, they may be expressed as homophobia. Cody DeHaan, who's a PhD candidate in psychology at the University of Rochester, published a set of studies together with a coworker. They examined this process. They wanted to see if they could identify a relationship between repressed sexual identities and any potential consequences, like homophobia. Across 6 studies in the United States and Germany, they recruited participants across the spectrum of sexual orientations. The results of these studies are these. Those people in their studies who were conflicted around their sexual identities tended to be more anti-gay themselves. DeHaan and his co-worker also sought to understand what could cause this dynamic to develop in the first place. To narrow it down to the specific content of this video, they wanted to find out why some closeted gay men are homophobic. They identified parenting as a possible factor in the development of homophobia. One of the major aspects of parenting they measured was something called perceived parental autonomy support among the participants. And this means this. When parents support their children's need for autonomy, they give them the freedom to not only explore their beliefs, needs, and emotions, but also to act on them. Parents who do the opposite will pressure their kids to feel or act in narrowly defined ways. In several of their studies, participants reported how their parents supported them while they were growing up. Those who had a more conflicted sexual identity were more likely to recall having parents who were more controlling. These individuals were also more homophobic. On the other hand, those participants who had supportive parents were more at ease with their sexual identity and reported being less homophobic. This research highlights an unfortunate reality in many people's lives. An unsupportive and unwelcoming environment may lead to a rejection of one's own same-sex attraction or identification. This then can cause people to lash out against LGBTQ individuals. Of course, it is important to highlight that this certainly doesn't explain the source of all homophobic behavior. Besides, it's likely that most of those who are in the closet don't feel the slightest bit of homophobia. Nonetheless, there can be a host of other negative consequences. Studies have shown that those who suppress their sexuality suffer greater distress and suicidality, and poorer executive functioning and physical stamina. This should force us to ask what kind of environments we want to create in our homes, schools, and workplaces. Do we want places that will support all people, regardless of their identities? Or do we want to pressure them into lifestyles that simply don't fit with their sense of who they are? Improving these environments could go a long way in reducing the suffering felt by many who still struggle to come to grips with an LGBTQ identity. So, the bottom line is, give everyone the freedom to be themselves. This will help prevent people like Mr. Goodman from developing anti-gay views. If you want to read the entire article on Mr. Goodman, you can do that because I've left the link to the article below this video. And I've also left the link to Mr. DeHaan's and his colleagues' studies. So if you want to read more about Mr. DeHaan's and his colleagues' studies, you can do that because I've left the link below this video. So now this video has come to an end. I want to say thank you for watching. Have a great day. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll be back soon with another video. Bye for now.